gentlemen, welcome back to League One predictions. It is the third round this week. Now, very quickly, I am forced, obligated, and told I must tell you that we have timestamps below if you want to go to specific games, but you are under orders not to do that. Please watch the whole thing, stew and marinate on all the predictions so you understand the full story of what's going to happen this week. Again, the chapters feature should be working, so have a look there. Also, Ian doesn't like doing this, so I'll do it because I'm a heinous self-promoter. We are an Amazon affiliate. Please have a click below if you're going to buy something. We really need the money. I haven't had food in 3 weeks.
That's terrible.
We get a small commission off every click. Also, if you want a free Audible trial, there's 2 free books and a 30-day free Audible trial just to stream books. After that, I think it's like £8 a month. If this is something you like, have a click below. It's free. It's pretty great. In the meantime, Ian, I think it's time we get straight into League One predictions, and I'm just
Hold your horses, cowboy. Before we can go into week 3, we have to have a quick peek at what we did in week 2. And I know why you didn't want to go ahead, because I won week 2 predictions. It's right there on the screen. I won by 10 points to 4. It was a battering. 2 correct scores for me, getting the Ipswich one right and getting the Peterborough one right, which was a crazy turnaround in the last minute. But generally, I'm feeling very depressed about League One, so don't expect me to talk at all in this video. You go ahead and lead into the first game.
I am frozen.
I didn't think you were frozen there for a second.
I held that for so long, my eyes were literally like zoning in and out. Ian, we start this week with an absolute cracker of a football match, because Sunderland, victors over Oxford United, host Peterborough United. Yeah, that's right. I threw the dagger in early on you there, Ian. Early dagger, just.
I'm not talking. You thought I'm not. I've given up. I've had enough in League One already. It's fucking league.
Right.
Well, it beats my balls every week, Thomas.
Sunderland were pretty good against Oxford United, I thought. One of the goals was pretty superb. I don't have the goal scores up here, but it was a decent goal. And they deserved the victory, I thought, at 2-0.
Absolutely.
You're not.
I can't argue with that. Absolutely. Yeah, they thoroughly outplayed Oxford, and as I said, if you see where I do my little ramblings after the Oxford game, it's up in the top corner. They looked a class above Oxford in the game, and it was one of the worst Oxford performances I've seen for quite a long time.
Sunderland fans, genuinely, does this feel like the year you've actually started well for the first time in, I don't know, since you were in the Premier League in like 2011 or something? So like, is this your time? Is it time to go up? But Peterborough, wow, what a turnaround. They waited till the 91st minute to even try and shoot on goal and basically got 2 in a row. Beat Fleetwood Town, who have started the season really well and looked pretty good in the game, I thought.
Yeah, obviously it looked like it was all doom and gloom for Peterborough again, but they come up with this fantastic turnaround. Sammy Smodics, who is a really good signing for them. I was gutted to find out that Oxford wanted him, and then he went to Peterborough back on loan again. But yeah, and that's it. That's what they needed. They needed to turn a potentially disastrous performance into a win, and they found a way. So yeah. This should be a cracker, you'd think, wouldn't you?
I'm super hyped about this game, Ian, and I am going for goals. I'm going for a 2-2 draw, though.
I have a feeling that Sunderland will win this game. I have a feeling that this will probably end up 1-1, because that's what Sunderland do. But I have a feeling that Sunderland will win 2-1. Crewe Alexandra versus the MK Dons.
So Crewe failed me last week. I had them down for a 1-1 draw, and they did not seem to find a way to manage it. They lost to Hull 1-0. And MK Dons played a nuts game against Lincoln City, totally dominated them with the ball, and managed to lose 2-1. Which of these teams do you want to talk about right now, Ian?
It's been a standard thing for MK Dons, though. Last first 2 games of the season, I think they've dominated in terms of possession, but haven't had the goals or the results to show for it. Crewe, yeah, poor start, really, isn't it? Poor start for them. I expected it to be a lot better.
I mean, I might be wrong. Crewe fans talk to me about this, but it is a very small club, and League One is probably the absolute top of where it should be right now. Are you out of your depth right now? Do you feel like your club's going to do well?
They've had quite a tough start though, Tom. They played the 2 sides that have come down, and we talked about how we probably underestimated Hull, and that's a narrow defeat. Yeah. Losing to Charlton as well. It's not, they'll be looking to play some sides that are maybe not as big in the pyramid as them to get some points on the board, and they'll definitely be looking at this one to try and get their first win, I would think.
I'm quite impressed with MK Dons right now, though. Like, I've liked how they've come into the season. They look like they're trying to build something. Their style of play seems quite established. It's really interesting to see them playing a possession-based style of play as well. Like, it's not what you expect out of an MK Dons side.
I don't think they've ever had a style.
No,
I think they just turned up and just like played football and went home. And
they're such a gauche side.
No identity.
Well, what do you think the score is going to be then, Mr. Allen?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to nick your result from the first game. I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go 1-1.
Is he going to go for a draw in every game?
Portsmouth hosting Wigan Athletic.
Portsmouth, what are you doing? What are you doing? That is 2 0-0 draws on the bounce. That's fine. You can't score against Shrewsbury. But you can't score against Rochdale? What is going on? I think that Pompey fans must be absolutely spitting feathers already. Absolutely calling for Kenny to hang up the jacket, no doubt. And this will be almost like a must-win game for them, you would say.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And you look at Wigan Athletic, and they could very easily end up being the whipping boys of this league. Obviously, they played a really exciting match against Gillingham. It ended 3-2. I think they got a goal late on, though. I think it was 3-1 for a while in that game. A lot of second-half goals. But we didn't expect to see a lot out of Wigan. Obviously, with everything that's happened to that club, they're just going to be lucky to play out a full season without too much drama happening. Theoretically, Pompey should dominate this game, and they should. But I don't see it happening. I don't know about you.
They might. It's just the goals, isn't it? They're not scoring goals. And that, as long as that goes on, the worse it's going to be.
Are they creating a lot of chances? Like, I haven't been able to watch all their games, but I haven't. When I read about them, especially in match reports, it's not like Portsmouth have 17 shots on goal and, superb.
What are you saying then? Put your money where your mouth is. I know what you're thinking.
0-0 draw.
I knew it. I'll say 1-0 Pompey.
I am going to get absolutely dominated in predictions this week because there are very few draws.
It's going to be a 3-3 draw the next one.
Because it's Gillingham hosting Blackpool.
Both these sides got a win at the weekend, Tom, but let's talk about no more of an impressive victory than Blackpool slaying the Dragon, putting the curse to bed and putting Swindon Town firmly in their place with a 2-0 win. Wonderful for Blackpool. The whole of the whole of world football was rejoicing at that result.
I hear Sepp Blatter even wrote them a letter.
That's the reason why you heard it, because it happened. And tell me about Gillingham, Tom.
Yeah, so Gillingham, like I said earlier, played a really fun match against Wigan. They won 3-2. We quite liked Gillingham going into the season, didn't we?
I think they're solid. I mean, they're a decent side. They're not spectacular, but pretty good.
No, but they've had a pretty decent start to the season. Obviously, they lost to Hull in the first match, but I think we both accepted we might have slightly underrated Hull. And this has all the makings of a good game because we thought Blackpool were going to have a good season this year, and obviously they got that win and they beat Swindon, who looked like a very handy side in this league. But they're coming up against a Gillingham side that are very solid. They're probably a mid-table side at the end of the day, and it's going to be a tough battle for Blackpool. And I know it's early in the season, but you got to get points on the board now because if you start behind the 8 ball, it is tough in a league this exhausting to build up those points again. I've got Blackpool to win this 2-1.
I'm going for a draw. I think 1-1.
Well, it's about time you went for a draw and I went for a win.
Lincoln City versus Charlton Athletic.
I think what we both want to talk about right now is Michael Appleton's apparent complete break from his classic style of football. They seem to have accepted that they probably don't have the best ball players on earth at this club, and they seem to be trying to build around the fact that if we're at least hard to break down, then the good ball players we have can possibly win the game for us. And I was really impressed against MK Dons that they let them have as much of the ball as they did, but they still came away as 2-1 winners. Obviously, they had a pretty comprehensive 2-0 victory against Oxford United at the beginning of the season. What are you seeing out of Lincoln City? Because we had them as the playoffs.
Just what you said, really, and what I saw against Oxford. They were very, very good at that. Once they got a goal, they could just sit back and defend, and were quite comfortable doing that, knowing that, confident that they're not going to concede, and also confident that they've got the players that can play quickly on the counter-attack too. I do not know what to expect from Charlton Athletic, though, Tom. They look like they could be a bit of a mixed bag from what we've seen so far. Didn't expect them to win on the first game, and they did. Expected them to win last week, and they did. So
How are you going to let the Bells beat you? Like, how are you going to let the Bells beat you? I've even given up on them. Like, it's tough, but I didn't rate Charlton coming into the season, did I? And we had a bit of an argument about that. And I'm going to continue my Charlton hate by saying that Lincoln City are going to win this match with exactly 37% possession, but they're going to win 2-0.
If they get exactly 37% possession, I will give you an extra point in predictions. And I'm going to double down on Lincoln and go 1.
It's Swindon Town hosting exactly middle mediocre Burton Albion.
Thomas, you better talk about Burton, because honestly, this is the only thing I've got to be happy about in League One this week.
Oh my God, you are an Arsenal fan. So Burton got their first victory of the year. They beat Accrington Stanley 2-1. It's the first win under their new manager, and it's a pretty nice thing for him to have. Beating Accrington as well, who started the season well, is just a good thing for them. They are probably the most middle of the road team we could even talk about. I think we predicted them to come like 12th or something, and that's pretty much what they did last year. They win as many games as they lose. But they're coming up against a really strong side, but a strong side that lost Ian, I believe. Good to hear him laugh. He was crying Saturday.
Oh God, it was good to see. It was good to see and good to feel, considering my beloved Oxford United at the bottom of the league. I have to cling on to any bits of hope I can. Well beaten by Blackpool. They're going to be well beaten by Burton, and it is going to be Swindon 0, Burton City 1.
I'm going to go 2-0 to Swindon. Doncaster Rovers, or Bells, hosting Bristol Rovers.
It's a battle of the Rovers, Thomas, and Doncaster have been the better Rovers, or Bells, as you like to say, in the early start of the season. Surprised us a little bit with an unbeaten so far, with a win and a draw. Bristol Rovers got a good point against Sunderland, but lost to Ipswich 2-0 at home at the weekend. So again, it's another one of those ones where I really don't know what to predict.
I mean, it's tough. Losing to Ipswich is nothing to be sniffed at. Obviously, last season we thought they'd at least be in the playoffs, and we kept thinking they would fix themselves, and they never did. But it was a pretty comprehensive 2-0 victory over Bristol Rovers. And Doncaster, I don't think we ever know which Doncaster is going to turn up. Last season, they'd go on runs of winning 5 or 6 matches, and then they'd lose 8 to follow it, just because, why not? And
it's so weird how they're really quite good. When they take the lead in a game, they rarely lose.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait till we're like 8 or 9 games in the season, and we can start to see home and away form start to kind of congeal, and we'll actually know something. Until then, Ian, what's your prediction?
Doncaster to win, I think. I'm going to go for a Donny win, and I always get Doncaster wrong, so I would recommend you to back Rovers. I'm going for Doncaster to win by 2-0.
Yeah, I don't trust Bristol Rovers in any way, so I'm going to go with a 1-0 Donny win.
Plymouth Argyle versus Shrewsbury Town.
What a match for the Green Army, as they won 4-4 against AFC. I am so American, it's painful. As they won 4-4 against AFC Wimbledon in what was easily match of the week, an 8-goal thriller. Constant entertainment in that game, Ian.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was watching.
Game as well, with both sides taking the lead. In the end, Plymouth got 2 goals, were 4-2 down and came back to draw 4-4. It's a really good performance overall. Fantastic. If you're a manager, you just don't know what to say. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry?
I'm crying, I'm laughing, I'm happy, I'm sad, it's warm, it's cold, it's dark, it's light. I don't know what I feel right now. They rode the dragon last week, and it was a really exciting match. And Shrewsbury, on the other hand, did not ride the dragon last week. They were thrashed. No, they weren't thrashed. They were beaten down by Northampton Town, who got their first win in the League One this season. Pretty
bad
soft
defeat, though, I think. Honestly, no disrespect to Northampton, but Shrewsbury that's a game they should be winning, in my opinion, if they're going to have if they want to improve on what they were last season, they should be winning those games.
It's like their anti-football, as you like to call it, hasn't come through at all this season. We were really expecting a side that was still hard to beat, and they got a 0-0 draw
against Pompey. It was pretty evident then.
Yeah, but Pompey are doing their best to not score goals as well, so that was, a team effort. I don't know. I'm not that impressed by Shrewsbury starting the year. I love that Plymouth managed to come back from a losing position. I love that they managed to score 4 goals. So I'm going to go with a Plymouth 2-1 victory.
Oh my God, how many draws am I going to do this weekend? Because I think I'm going to do another one. 1-1. Wow, Thomas, this is one where the fans will be glad they cannot go to. Fleetwood Town versus AFC Wimbledon.
Fleetwood had a hard luck loss at Peterborough. 2 obviously late goals in overtime, as we Americans like to call it. And AFC Wimbledon had a 4-2 lead that they dropped, obviously, to Plymouth Argyle to draw 4-4. And here to give you his prediction and thoughts on the match is Ian Allen.
My thoughts are that I think this will be a quite comfortable win for Fleetwood. Wimbledon have started the season pretty well, I think, and they're full of like the kind of like the energy and the spirit and all that cliche
gumption.
Stuff we expect. Yeah, you expect from them. It's fully evident. But I just think that this Fleetwood side is going to be too good for them, I reckon, and I think that Fleetwood will win 3-0.
Oh, wow. An absolute mauling. I've got Fleetwood winning 1-0, but they're going to win. Northampton Town versus Hull City.
Northampton Town, they got a good win, didn't they, against Shrewsbury Town. I mean, I just literally mentioned how that was a bad defeat for Shrewsbury. But a great win for Northampton. That's the sort of wins they needed. They needed early points to find their feet at this level and carry on forward. Hull, we've already talked about how we underestimated them, and they're probably going to be a lot stronger than we gave them credit for. So I would say Hull are the favourites going into this one, Thomas.
Without a shadow of a doubt, they were pretty comprehensive beating Crewe. It was only 1-0, but you always thought they were going to win that. Northampton, on the other hand, like we said, bit of a shock 2-1 victory. We really didn't give Northampton a lot of chance. Like I said, we haven't seen porn?
Certainly have seen that. We haven't seen form.
We haven't seen form solidify yet, and because of that, it is hard to not go with what my gut is telling me, and it's that Hull will run out this match 2-0 winners.
I think I agree with you, apart from the one I'm going to put in the Northampton column. Northampton 1, Hull 2.
Ipswich Town versus Ian's favourite club, Rochdale.
I feel sorry for Ipswich and Rochdale fans. Not that you really want to hear us talk about this game, but because when it gets to this point, we're always a little bit like, oh, God, do we have to? So let's just say Ipswich has started the season really, really strongly. They look really good and really solid at both ends of the field. Rochdale have been a bit garbage, let's be fair, but they did get a good 0-0 draw against Pompey, which shows they have got some battling spirit. But I do think that Ipswich will be too strong, and to cut a long story short, I think they'll carry on with the 2-0s. 2-0 Ipswich.
I've got 3-2 Ipswich.
I'm dreading it. I don't want to do this now, please. Thomas, just end the video. I don't want to do the main event.
Accrington Stanley versus Oxford, bottom of the table United.
Last week I was on the verge of panic. I'd hit the panic button last week. I am in full meltdown mode, Tom. That is 2 defeats out of 2. No goals scored. No points on the board. Bottom of the league. What the hell is going on? There's only 44 games left to play. That is what? I don't know how many points that is. What? 25 points?
12?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm too angry. But oh my God, Oxford need to improve, and they need to improve quick. Robinson did not flatter the side at all. He was very angry after the Sunderland performance. He didn't do what he usually does and come out and praise the players. So that is at least one thing. They were garbage. They were really poor, and we need big improvements. And I don't really need to go into it any more than that, I don't think. Found some things to say.
Good.
He changed formation last weekend, and I actually thought it was good because he played 2 up front. But rather than playing Derek O.C., would it not be a good idea to play Dan Adji, to try and play someone who can actually run in behind, play someone who you can actually, instead of just hitting aimless ball, Oxford played a lot of long ball against Sunderland, which was really weird. Instead of doing that, play the balls down the channel so Adji can run in, and we can actually play football up the pitch, which is what the likes of Fosu and Brown did for Oxford last season and why we were so successful. So please play Dan Adji in this game, and please maybe just think about having a formation in place. This is what Oxford have got a week to think about this game. They got a week. Yeah. They got no cup game, no midweek game. They got a week to think about it. So I want to see improvement. They might lose, but I want to see a good performance. I will be begrudgingly accepting of a narrow defeat if they played all right.
Oxford are the sort of side right now that need to get out of every cup competition they can, just so they can concentrate on having a good league campaign, because the most important thing to this club now is just going up.
Well,
getting up.
They are out of the League Cup.
Oh, thank God. Accrington Stanley, on the other hand, failed me miserably. I backed them to win 2 in a row, and they did not. They were beaten by mediocre Burton Albion 2-1. Ian, I haven't seen a lot outside of that first game for Accrington Stanley that makes me think they're a good team. I know Oxford are on a bit of a low, but this is the sort of match they kind of need. Give us a score prediction.
Yeah, well, as I said in my video after the Sunderland game, Accrington Stanley it's going to be a battle when you play Stanley, and Oxford have to be up for that battle. And a very nervous 2-1 win for Oxford United, but I will be fully watching the game like that.
Firstly, will you be watching the game, and do you think £10 a match to follow a club is a bit ridiculous over the course of 42 games?
I don't really want to get into that right now. It is what it is. They need some revenue coming in from fans.
I've got 1-0 to Oxford United. And now, Ian, enough about Oxford United. I've said this in all the videos. We are genuinely quite short on time due to the fact that apparently we both have things to do in life. I don't know what's happened. But I would like to thank Adam Taylor, Alexandra Allen, It's Max S, Christopher Smith, Rico, Robert Allen, Ollie Hambling, Lucky Amika, Roki Scott, and Roker Roar for your comments. We really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate everyone who's watching these, who's commenting, who's subscribing, who's doing all that. It means the world to us. It makes it worth it for us to continue to do this. And I think all that's left to say is we'll see you in round 4.